Pokémon lore is full of holes, which is the reason why it is so interesting to make theories about it. And one of the best games for this is the game that openly embraced weirdness and tinfoil hats, and that's Scarlet and Violet. Today, in the style of a lot of my latest videos, we take a look at another crazy theory about it, one that didn't really start with me this time. So hey, I'm not so ace trainer, let's put our tinfoil hats on for this one, and what about COLRESS? Let's get into it. Before we begin, I want to thank my YouTube member Dash Plays and my Twitch subscribers Anubis here, Redsamnegi, Zanes222, Nightshades and Lazarix. Thank you so much for going the extra mile and helping make my content possible. And now, on to the video. So there I was streaming and Leon S. Kennedy told me about their headcanon where COLRESS actually somehow had a role in the games. A role in creating the Future Paradox Pokémon. My first thought was, nah, that doesn't work, but then after thinking about it a little, it actually was kinda possible, especially considering that characters going from one place in time to another already exist. In Legends Arceus, not only Oz moved back in time, but Ingo happened to move back in time as well to Hisui from his comfortable subway battling job. And the fact that he brought his expertise in Pokemon battling so early to that place could be the reason why we have so many powerful trainers in Sinnoh. COLRESS' character is a very interesting one because while villainous, he isn't particularly evil in the usual way. Yeah, sure, he froze a city, but then he wandered around and even helped us out. You can help out by liking and subscribing, for example. But before we get to Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, we have to talk about what his goals are, what he does, and why that might align with this theory. COLRESS was introduced in Gen 5, more specifically in the sequels, where he aligned with Ghetsis in order to research the true strength of Pokémon, despite not really believing in the whole liberate all Pokemon thing. In Gen 6, more specifically X and Y, COLRESS is mentioned by a backpacker in Route 10. That's the place where the Dolmens are, who are said to have a strange energy. This is very likely the same or a similar energy to the one responsible for Mega Evolution, and COLRESS was there to study, once more, the true strength of Pokemon, most likely. In Alola, COLRESS gives us the Genesect drives and also helps out against Team Rainbow Rocket, proving once more that he is the gray in between black and white. And then, while there's no showing of COLRESS in Galar, I believe it might have something to do with the Type Null that we find there, which would be the third one from the Aether Foundation laboratory, a place where COLRESS roamed free. And you know, Type Null does feel like it is aiming to reach the true strength of Pokemon as it is based on Arceus. The interesting part though is how we are helped by COLRESS in Gen 7. COLRESS uses his COLRESS machine number 1102 in order to send the team leaders from Team Rainbow Rocket back to their world, a world where they went through with their plans and actually won. So back to their timelines they go. And this timeline thing is our first connection to the plot of Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, where timelines are actually pretty important. COLRESS has the goal of finding the true strength of Pokemon and is able to move through timelines, and in Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet we have some other possible showing of the true strength of Pokemon, those being the Paradox Pokémon. And half of those, the future ones, well, they are almost like, you know, man-made or at least altered to be that way, with the quote-unquote legendary ones actually being the Gen 5 Swords of Justice, the ones from Unova, the place where we first met COLRESS. So right now, through a little bit of speculation, we can see a bridge connecting COLRESS to the concept of Future Paradox Pokémon, since they seem altered, and when something is altered, usually it's meant to reach a better state, truest strength if you will. We have also talked about how he has the means to, you know, reach other timelines, because he has his machine that connects to different timelines, or at least seems to do so. But does he have the skill? If COLRESS was to move to a more futuristic timeline, he would have access to technology needed to alter Pokemon, especially when in current day we already have man-made Pokemon like Porygon, for example. But the skills, that's a whole different story. One can have all the technology in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, well, you're not really going to reinvent the wheel. Still, a little known fact about COLRESS is that, if we take the cross-canon road for a little bit, Genesect is very likely made by him. In the manga, that's the Pokemon he uses. The fact that he gives us the drives in Gen 7 could also be referencing this connection, despite there not being mention of it in the Gen 5 sequels. And what is Genesect? Well, Genesect is nothing more than a Pokemon that at a certain point existed, but was made machine-like. Kinda like the Future Paradox Pokemon seem to be when we look at them. COLRESS has the means, COLRESS has the goals, and COLRESS has the skills to do so. And yeah, I know this is 100% a very reachy theory, but if Colress has done it once and never really stopped searching for the true strength of Pokémon, who knows if he wouldn't do it again and again and again. And that is all I have for you today. A crazy Colress headcanon needs crazy Colress evidence. But what about you? Would you see Colress doing that, creating the Future Paradox Pokémon? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokémon content and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. Also, you can become a channel member or check out my merch in order to further support the channel. I'd be forever thankful for that. You can follow me on social media or check out one of my streams here and on Twitch. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.